死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望を飲み終えた。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなに家賃が多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ万歳。ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランドスライドまで。
ゼロ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界傷ついていけるかな。昔グレートだった。大きにまたグレートになるから。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そう。言い放せるで。
Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Hope you're all doing well today. Early morning CobraCast or whatever. For me, this is early morning because I usually stay up till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is the morning time for me. But I told you guys all week long we're going to be live covering stuff here, so that's what we're doing. Hope you're all doing well. We got a few things to talk about. Let me say hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Keenan in the house, JMNZZ in the chat. Jessica, Canman, Fubi, Mandy F. Hunter says it's noon. Yeah, but it's morning for me. And I don't get up early. I'm a night owl. The man, bro, dude, Sith Lord Darth Bong in the house. Booby Bobber, General Duality. I know a lot of you didn't get the 30-minute notification because I set this up like 20 minutes in advance. So I apologize for those that didn't get the 30-minute notification. Kevin Cron, what's up? Kevin Cron says it's 10. You must be on the West Coast. It's noon here. For me, it's noon because I'm on Central Standard Time. A lot of people think I'm on Eastern because I'm in Florida, but I'm actually on Central. So, CobraCast for lunch. Yum. What's up, Monica? Hopefully Jessica got some sleep. She was really tired last night. Let's see. Christopher says, dude, you're out ahead of me, bro. John A says, special kid here. Me or you? Either way, I get it. You know, so Central is God's time. Wow, Jeremy is from the future. Hey, I got to show this meme off. Tree Bear just made one of the greatest G&G memes ever. So look at this meme from Tree Bear. WCW Battle Bowl. You got me as Nature Boy. You got Beardo as Cactus Jack. You got race swapped Steve Austin as Epic Mike. RK Outpost as Sting. That's great. That's actually really good. Dan Vask as Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You got Drunk 3PO as Sid Vicious. You got race swapped Dustin Rhodes as Kata. And X-Wing as Rick Rude. That is freaking great. That is one of my favorite G&G memes. Tree Bear is a madman when it comes to the G&G memes. As a matter of fact, look at this. Look at that. That is disturbing. This is Tree Bear's profile banner. That is scary as hell. That is nightmare fuel. All right. This Epic Mike says why. Yeah, it's pretty like some of the stuff Tree Bear posts over on Locals is truly horrific. It's to the point where I don't even want to look at the chat half the time on Locals. When you have him dropping the memes there, it's crazy indeed. Let's see. We've got Cole Hauser. I think it's your birthday today, right, Cole Hauser? Am I right about that? Let me know. Hail, Jeremy. Keep up the great work. Our conservatives really suck here. They have no idea how to counter the liberals while sucking up to them. 100%, brother. Is it your birthday, Cole Hauser? Confirm that for me. It is. It's Cole Hauser's birthday. Happy birthday, Cole Hauser. Happy birthday, brother. I saw that on Twitter earlier, so hope you have a good birthday, man. Subway J says 3 bags of Coke investigation posted by Dan Bongino. Yeah, I've actually got that tweet pulled up right here. So this isn't going over very well. So as you know, Dan Bongino and Kash Patel have been facing a lot of backlash after their interview with Fox News last week, where they basically said that Epstein did kill himself and that they believe it unequivocally. And they basically talked, in my opinion, they talked down to people like, hey, how dare you guys question this? What the hell's wrong with you? We're the experts. We know what's going on. And so this has been a problem for a while with the FBI, with the CIA, with Pam Bondi. This has been a problem. They don't seem to take the Epstein situation seriously at all. And while Trump didn't run on releasing the Epstein files and the Epstein list or whatever, the Epstein story is a huge problem for MAGA. And MAGA people want this dealt with, and they want this dealt with now, not later, now. And people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel spent the majority of their careers prior to becoming part of the Trump administration talking about that very issue and how unacceptable the behavior was from the FBI, and how there's a cover-up going on and how they can release all of this information. And all of a sudden now Dan Bongino and Kash Patel get in office and they're like, they sound just like the people that they replaced. And now Dan Bongino releases this saying that they're going to look into the cocaine found at the White House in the Biden administration, which I think in general, I'm fine with you doing that because I think it needs to be looked into. However, I already have the answer for you. The answer is Hunter Biden. But the problem is MAGA ain't hearing it. MAGA doesn't want to hear this. Essentially, what you are saying is that cocaine found in the White House is more important than Epstein's situation, which nobody believes. The Epstein situation is far more important than anything to do with cocaine found in the White House. That's the most important thing you should be focusing in on. And the fact that you're not is a massive problem. And I don't understand how we have ended up in this situation at all. This makes no sense. Now, some of the theories that have been going around about this are that that essentially there's a ton of powerful Republicans that will be caught up in this if the Epstein, along with Democrats, by the way. So the theory behind it is that, you know, it could damage what the overall initiative of the Trump administration is moving forward. And I can kind of understand where you're coming from with that, but at the end of the day, I really don't. Like, if that's the case, I think that's a bad situation because I don't give a shit. If you're involved with children, you need to be held accountable regardless of what other things that could be affected. If there are people in the Republican Party that could be affected by this, then so be it. I don't want their help. I don't want their help if they're guilty or if they're complicit in any of this stuff at all. And that's just the truth of the matter. And there is so many good things going on with the Trump administration right now. And Trump is doing so many awesome things. But I don't like this story. I don't like how this feels. I don't like how the optics of this come off. And then the fact that every time you turn around, you got Bongino and Kash Patel basically it seems like it's a diversion at this point in time. It seems like they are trying to make you look this way instead of looking that way. And that bothers me big time. I'm trying to find this clip right here of Alex Jones because Alex Jones said it perfectly. If I can actually find it. I played this clip on one of my last videos where Alex Jones essentially said, if you're not going to do anything about it, then just shut up about it. And I think that's the best way to look at it. Here, I do have this clip I can show that I played last time of Bongino.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I hate how they're talking down to people in that situation. I hate it. He killed himself. I've seen the whole file. It's like, dude, what? Well, that's not, and again, I'm not trying to regurgitate a previous video I did, but I mean, this is what we've been saying. You're not the same Dan Bongino. That's not the same person. And I didn't watch Bongino religiously or anything like that, but even just a little bit I've seen from Bongino, this neutered version sounds nothing like the Bongino that we have known over the last several years. Here's the clip from Alex Jones talking about it, and I think this puts it into perfect perspective right here.
Just don't sit there and tell us, oh, we've closed it, he acted alone, we have the files. Don't, if you're going to crap on me or piss on me, don't rub it in and don't tell me it's raining, okay? Please. Just, I mean, can you not, just as a PR issue, will you stop it, Kosh and Bongino? I know, obviously, Dan, nobody's smarter than you. But if you want to go from being very popular to very unpopular and thus hurt Trump as well, just keep going. Keep going, tough guy. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I'm getting angry. And it's very insulting to the American people to say Epstein killed himself. Yes. No one buys it.
Yes.
It's very insulting to say that brainwashed mind control, classic mind control operative acted alone. Please stop. The one that trained, where the federal law enforcement trained, all that, his cell phone all around the federal building in D.C., the FBI headquarters. Stop it. If you're not going to do anything about it, just shut up about it then.
Perfectly said.
But that's only going to encourage the group inside the government, the faction, to try to kill the big guy again. I'm not trying to create some controversy. Alex Jones turns on Trump, turns on Bongino. It's not that. Please don't insult us anymore. Please. God, I mean, it's like getting up at a dinner party and taking a dump on a plate and telling everybody it's chocolate ice cream. I mean, just do not do it.
That's such a visual I didn't need. Thank you, Alex Jones. That is not a visual that I needed.
Gives me a headache. We had a well-known, very famous private investigators that were hired by Trump's people to go spend months in Pennsylvania and investigate it. And they came back and talked about the FBI pulling up and threatening them and following them and telling them to stop their investigation. And then that same FBI now is still in charge, obviously, and is just telling us to just stop investigating. Well, we're not going to. You guys can tell us, there's nothing to see here and crap like that, but we're not going to shut up about it. So you can be guaranteed of that. If you want to know about it, go put the article back up, the Hagman investigation into it. So that's the facts. If you want them, instead of what Bongino is telling people.
So you have that, and that's all kind of led to the blowback and the backlash that Dan Bongino was getting for releasing this. And you can go into the replies, and you can just see people are just like, is this a joke? You know, I'm perplexed. We didn't vote for reform. We voted for accountability. You know, tell us the Epstein Diddy files, the real story of the Vegas shooting. Where are all the missing kids? Who arranged to have Trump killed? Who's guilty of treason? Who's guilty of crimes of humanity? Did I forget anything? This is your priority? Dan, we need the old Dan back. What happened? When will we see some of the arrests you promised? Blink 2 times if you have been held hostage. Why haven't we seen any Epstein file, any clients arrested? Who are you guys covering for? Like this is the response right here. This is the response. And you deserve this type of response because this is what Dan Bongino was doing prior to becoming the deputy director of the FBI. These are the same questions that he was asking. And now he's telling you to shut up. Hey, guys, shut up. As a matter of fact, not only do you need to shut up, look at this little over here. Look at this shiny toy, Hunter Biden's cocaine. Ooh, you guys want to know who? You guys want to know who's responsible for the cocaine at the White House? No, Dan, we already know. Thank you. I mean, I appreciate this in isolation. I would love for there to be a full investigation of the cocaine in the White House after you've dealt with all the other things we want you to deal with. This is like the 50th most important thing right now. It's not important at all. No one is sitting there around going, boy, we really did find out who that cocaine belonged to. We already know who the cocaine belonged to. We already know. So, you know, it is what it is. Cole Hauser says, ironic that Rubio is more MAGA than Dan and Cash. It really is, man. And I'm still not sold on Marco Rubio moving forward. I know a lot of people are thinking like he could be the guy to take over MAGA and all that, but like it's like anything else, man. When Ryan Johnson was a director for Breaking Bad under the leadership of Vince Gilligan, Ryan Johnson did amazing things when he had proper leadership on Breaking Bad. When Ryan Johnson had terrible leadership at Lucasfilm, we got The Last Jedi. So just because someone is good under great leadership, that doesn't exclude everything else we've seen from that person over the course of their career. And I don't like Marco Rubio. I love what he's doing. He's done a great job. I appreciate the job that he's done in the Trump administration, and I commend him. But I like Rubio when he's working for Trump. And that's it. That's all. Eric for 20 says, honestly, don't care about did he or didn't he kill himself. I just want to know who the hell went to his island with those kids and hold them accountable. I generally agree with you, but him killing himself matters because who is behind that. But I understand what you're saying in general. But that question is important because if it is proved that, you know, he didn't actually kill himself, then it opens up the question as to who was involved in that. You know what I'm saying? But I generally agree with what you're saying. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, exactly. I like DeSantis as Florida governor, but not as president. 100%. I don't just like Ron DeSantis as Florida governor. I love Ron DeSantis as a Florida governor. I wish he could stay Florida governor forever. I think he's phenomenal. Dragon Dan says, Cash and Dan gave us a booster when we wanted Turbo Man. That is a great analogy right there. That is a great analogy. Respect for that one right there. Why was DeSantis booed during that wrestling event? Well, a lot of current WWE fans are woke as fuck. And that's just the truth of the matter. UFC and WWE have drastically different fan bases. UFC skews more conservative, more, alphas, and WWE skews more leftist and betas. That's just the truth of it. There's a ton of leftist losers as WWE fans right now. A lot of them make up the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community. They are absolute psychopaths. It's the same reason Hulk Hogan got booed. These people are completely pathetic and broken. They really are. So that is the truth of it. Current wrestling fans are some of the gayest people out there. It's when you have the international audiences, wrestling is so much better from an international audience perspective because the international audience are actual wrestling fans. The fans in the West, generally speaking, are fucking leftist losers with pronouns that are more concerned with free Palestine than anything else. And that's just the truth of the matter. It sucks. That's why you watch a current, like we cover wrestling over on our Geeks and Gamers Locals, and most of the audiences here in the United States are boring as fuck. They're not invested in anything, and they only follow trendy shit like singing Seth Rollins' fucking song. That's really all they can do. Their whole gimmick is these fans don't actually have any enthusiasm, so they sing wrestlers' songs, and it's so cringy. Because that's all they do. They sing wrestlers' songs. They do the whole Cody Rhodes pop when his song comes on. Now they're singing CM Punk's song, and they do the fucking yeeting bullshit. And that's literally all current wrestling fans are good for. They're absolutely pathetic. International audiences are completely invested in every aspect of the show. Wait, what? They sing? Yes, they sing. It's so cringe, man. It's all they do is sing. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Let's see. Okay, I got this video pulled up from Fox News. Why there's a strong possibility Diddy could walk. I have not been following this case that closely, but I have been hearing that the case against Diddy is not as strong as maybe we were led to believe.
Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial will resume tomorrow as a third personal assistant is set to take the stand. Over the first couple of weeks, jury members heard explosive testimony detailing the alleged physical and emotional abuse Combs caused. Let's bring in David Gelman, former prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. David, welcome.
Hey, Mike, good to be here.
Somebody said that international audiences are the ones that started singing. That's fine. They're invested in the whole show. These idiots here in the West, all they want to do is sing the songs, and then they just sit there quietly for the rest of the fucking show until Yeet comes out. And it completely destroys the whole show. The reason international audiences are so awesome is because they're fully invested in the whole show. These losers over here in the West sit there, all they know how to do is sing a fucking intro song, and then they sit there like clowns. The Attitude Era. Go back to the Attitude Era. Remember those crowds? Remember the energy when Stone Cold Steve Austin was out there? Remember the energy when Triple H would come out there? Remember the energy in the audience when matches were going on? It fundamentally changed everything. You know what these people are doing? They're on their phones. They're on their phones during the wrestling matches. It sucks.
So in week 2 of testimony, jurors heard from a dozen witnesses as prosecutors try to prove sex trafficking and racketeering. What are your expectations when court resumes tomorrow?
It's going to be really interesting tomorrow when Diddy's third or fourth assistant takes a stand, and she's going to actually corroborate Kid Cudi's testimony from last week, where he said that Diddy and another associate of his bombed his Porsche years ago at his house. Now, you have to have cooperation about that because nobody can put Diddy there. And in fact, nobody even can say Diddy's the actual one who did it. But if they can say that Diddy or an associate of his did it, then you may have a racketeering charge there. Because right now, as it stands, Mike, nothing, and I mean nothing, is sticking to Diddy.
Diddy's lawyers are trying to make the case that his escapades do not amount to federal crimes. How difficult is that argument?
I think they're doing a fantastic job, honestly. Look, everybody has said, and Diddy's lawyers even said it in their opening statement, Diddy is not a good guy. There's a lot of domestic violence that occurred between him and Cassie in their relationship. However, what we've heard so far from the testimony of Cassie and the other individuals does not amount to the federal charges that he's being charged with right now. I'm not going to say anything that we heard is very good because it's all horrific. However, the state or the government in this particular instance needs to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he conspired to racketeer, to sex traffic, and to promote prostitution. So far, they're falling way behind in this. And I know there's a lot more to go in this trial because they're saying it's going to be about 8 weeks. But the government really better step on the gas because they don't have a lot more time to go.
So the play seems to be maybe admit to a state crime that avoids prison time. Is that it?
Yeah.
These drawings are rough, man. Who's hiring these people to do these sketches in court? That is rough looking. I mean, I'm sure Diddy is rough looking already, but like those sketches are bad. Like that is horrendous. Who is being hired for this?
I think so. Look, again, you're hearing about all this domestic violence, but all that has nothing to do with what Diddy is charged with. There's a possibility, and I'm saying a very strong possibility right now, that Diddy could walk, that he could be spending 4th of July at home having a barbecue.
Interesting. David Gelman.
That is wild. Listen, all I know about Sean Combs is that this is what Sean Combs said about President Trump.
If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war. White men like Trump need to be banished.
White men like Trump need to be banished.
That way of thinking is real dangerous. When you look at it, we don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want about Biden. I can't say I love the pick either, but hey, we got to get him in office, and then we got to hold him accountable.
So there you go. That's my my opinion of Sean Combs. I don't even like calling him Diddy. There's only one Diddy, and his name is Diddy Kong. Okay, and he's 10 times better than you, Sean Combs. But again, I haven't been paying attention much to this case, but it does seem like from all the feedback we're getting that there doesn't seem to be a lot in terms of the federal charges that are going to stick. So, and to be fair, you're right. His original name was Puffy. Then he went to Puff Daddy. Then he went to Diddy, I think. He's changed his name like 5 or 6 times over the years because he's a clown. But if you really want to know, there's a lot of lore and history about him and Tupac accused, Sean Combs of being involved in his, I want to say it was a 1993 or 1994 shooting when Tupac got shot in New York. And he blamed Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. and Sean Combs for that. And there's a long history to that. Long history. So we'll see. Come with me. Yes. The wasn't that the Godzilla song that he had, if I'm not mistaken? But either way, we'll see what happens with that. Also, yesterday, I think it was Johnny the Whiz Kid brought up this Texas bill to ban all anime. I was not aware of this. So I decided to pull up a video, and I'm kind of shocked about this. So this is I think it's Chibi Reviews. Man, the Chibi Reviews is always, people are always mad at him for something. But there's a Texas bill to ban all anime, and it passes the House. Not all, it targets kitty. That's what I understand what you're saying, but the language in the bill, from what I understand, is I don't know. We're going to listen to his video here in just a minute. Subway J says, look up Southern District of New York prosecutor. High Q says, Jeremy, I agree. The customers are still out there placing children in danger, and they have to stop them regardless of politics. I agree. Robo Guy, here we go. Yeah, look at that. What the fuck is Texas doing? They're trying to pass a bill that may end up banning anime. It's saying that it's to protect against underage stuff, but it's too vague and it may lead to a slippery slope that bans it in the U.S. entirely. We're going to watch this video right now and go over it. Here we go.
If you don't know what you're looking at, let me explain. This is the bill in Texas that threatens to ban all anime. For instance, if you were to watch something like Goblin Slayer, One Piece, Naruto, or Bleach, you would be labeled as a felon. You might recall this conversation earlier this year, back in February 2025, where everybody was talking about it, and it gained so much traction that we even have Japanese politicians talking about the subject and closely monitoring this bill that is actively moving through Congress, moving through the House and Senate, and how it can have an overarching effect not just on the United States, but also around the world. Because the bill, for many people's agreement, it's unconstitutional. It will affect freedom of speech, freedom of expression. It will hurt cartoons. It'll hurt anime, animation, drawings. It will hurt a lot of things. And so a lot of people are actively watching where this bill is going. However, you might recall a few weeks ago, there was an article I covered and many others talked about as well, to where Niche Gamers said that Democrats block a bill to ban Goblin Slayer and other anime in Texas. And the bill in question that was blocked, according to this article, was SB 20, which I'm talking about in this video. This article is clearly not accurate. It is not accurate by any means, because the bill just a few days ago effectively was passed by the House. And it's actually worse than you thought. It wasn't the Democrats trying to block it. In fact, the Democrats all said yes to the bill, and so did the Republicans. So both political sides of the spectrum basically said yes to the bill being passed. 139 yeses, 0 nays, and 2 present but did not vote. So what this effectively means is it was a unanimous vote from both political parties to put.
So I want to make a point that we're talking about banning anime, but we're not worried about Jeffrey Epstein. We're going to protect fictional drawn characters, but we're not going to address Jeffrey Epstein. Makes a lot of sense.
SB 20 in action. So this article saying that Democrats were on the side of the people trying to ban this bill is factually incorrect. This was made back in the 8th of May, 2025. I wanted to point this out because many might remember I covered this topic and so many others did.
It's also very interesting that every Democrat and every Republican voted yes for this. Interesting indeed.
But it's very clear that this is aged very poorly and the bill is still moving through. And so I don't know where this information actually came from. But let's get back on topic. So what is the bill? Why are people worried? And how will this affect you? So first of all, we need to talk about this subject right here. It has been filed. It was out of Senate committee. Then it was voted on by the Senate. Then it was out of the House committee. And then it was voted on by the House. And as you can see by the dates here, literally on the 22nd of May here, it was voted unanimously. It passed. You can see the color codings here. If it's green, it indicates that the bill has passed this stage. There's 2 more stages for it to officially become a law. For instance, it needs to reach the governor table, and then the bill becomes law. And where you're getting the overall date of September 1st, apparently, according to this, if the bill does pass the government table, the governor's table, it will officially become a law on September 1st, 2025, pretty much banning all anime in the states.
How do you do this? This is crazy.
Which means that this can have an overarching effect, and this bill might be introduced into other states around the country and might cause other countries to follow suit with this bill. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. What I'm trying to say is that the bill so far has it.
Yeah, if anybody actually thinks this is good because maybe you think anime is cringy or whatever, you are completely retarded and you don't understand. censorship is bad. The government doesn't give a fuck about you. And the second you think the government gives a shit about you, you are the NPC they're looking for. The government doesn't give a fuck about anime. Trust me when I tell you that. And if you're dumb enough to believe that the government actually cares about anime, you are so far gone and retarded that I can't help you, because they don't
fully become law yet. However, it's not inaccurate to say the bill hasn't passed. It did pass the House, and it is concerning, especially when you factor in that
somebody said anime is evil. You know what's evil? Crooked fucking politicians that are essentially taking your anger and manipulating you to make you think that they care about you. You can hate anime all you want. I don't give a shit. But to think that these politicians are worried about you and care about you, they are manipulating you from an emotional level, and you are too blinded by your hatred of something to understand that you're being used by very evil fucking people. And you're being manipulated right before our very eyes.
At all sides, Republicans and Democrats, said yes to the bill, which means that it is not really a far-fetched thing to say that the governor of Texas won't sign it and say yes to it. It's very, very unlikely he's going to deny it. It's possible, but it's very unlikely when you have both sides agree on this subject. So if it does theoretically happen and it does become law, that's where things get even more interesting. It will obviously be pushed into federal court, aka the Supreme Court, and it will be, probably for many.
And also the anime or evil people, go ahead and put a pink pussy hat on and talk about how guns are evil too, and how guns are the worst thing ever. And I guess we should go ahead and get rid of guns too, right?
Years, maybe months, I don't know, where it's going to be debated if it's constitutional or not. And at this current time, it's appearing that it's definitely not constitutional. So let's get into the wording and why people are actually concerned. This right here is what the Texas SB 20 bill has within it, and I showed this many months ago when this was brought up, but basically, at first glance, this seems like a good thing that the politicians brought up. They're trying to ban usage of AI depicting actual kids and images of kids being processed through AI.
Which is a very good thing in isolation, but what happens with these bills is that essentially they're headlined by something that everyone will go, well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. We want to protect children. We want to protect, animation depicting children. Of course, everybody's on board. Yay, yay, yay. But it's all of the details that you're not paying attention to that is the real damage. And this is what happens with these things all the time, is that people fall for the fucking headline. It's the same thing that happens on social media all the fucking time, where people see a fucking headline, they don't read the details, they don't look at the substance, and they make a decision off of it. And that's what's happening right here, just like it happens every time. These are politicians. They are trained evil, manipulative pieces of shit, and they know how to tug at your heartstrings. They know how to go after you on an emotional level. They know the things that people are going to sit there and cheer and all be on the same page over, but then it's the details. The devil is in the details every time.
At first glance, this is a good thing. I fully support that. I'm just going to be completely point blank on that. It is a good thing that they want to ban that, because obviously that is very harmful. However, the bill also adds and tacks on cartoons, animation, and other things like that, and sculptures, which means that it won't just stop at actual real kids being hurt, but just random depictions in anime, manga, and also in cartoons will effectively be banned, which is why the subject matter of you can become a felon just for watching Goblin Slayer, One Piece, Naruto, or Bleach, or other anime has been brought up because of this. Now, in terms of...
Well, if my current president taught me anything, it's that being felon is a good thing, because I voted for a felon. Felon 47.
Optics, when you look at the overall captions of this bill, it makes a lot of sense why both political parties have, unanimously said yes to this bill, because obviously it does look bad if you go against this bill. It does.
Mez says, Jeremy, you're almost 50. Mario Kart and anime. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're watching me. You send me fucking memberships and money, Mez. The fuck is wrong with you? If I'm a retard, then you're a bigger retard because you send me money. So what the fuck is wrong with you? Why the fuck are you sending a retard like me money?
Because obviously, why wouldn't you want to protect a kid? Makes sense. It does. It does. However, with the way the wording is and how loose it is and how obscenity laws are and everything, it could be really harmful to a lot of people. It can actually legitimately cause just blanket bans of anime, manga, sculptures, paintings. You get the point. So that is where the concern actually lies. So I understand why the both parties on both political sides probably unanimously agreed to this, because he might not have read the entirety of the bill, and they might not fully understand what anime and cartoons are. And let's be honest, there's a lot of old fogies within Congress, the Senate and House and Supreme Court. Yeah, of course they wouldn't understand technology and cartoons and anime, etc. It's not meant for them. They don't watch what we watch, basically. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of optics around this. There's a lot of people discussing about the AI segment of it, which makes sense why they want to ban that. I'm actually on board with that, because processing real, actual kids in an AI generator.
This is the problem. It's not about anime. It's what's next. And that's my problem with this whole thing is the government is not interested in what's in your best interest. They never have been. Generally speaking, they're just not. And we've known that forever and a day. So if you're telling me, like, I think there's a lot of fucking weird anime out there. I am very much the definition of a normie when it comes to anime. I've seen some. I think Death Note is fantastic. I've seen a handful of anime, either movies or shows, that I very much enjoyed. But there's a lot of weird shit out there that I won't go anywhere near. With that said, though, this is not about anime. This is about something far beyond that. And that's what concerns me.
Yes, that is dangerous. Very dangerous. But attaching other stuff associated with that is what the problem with this bill actually is. That's why people have an issue with it. Because, like I said, you could just become a felon for watching One Piece or Goblin Slayer, which is obviously not a good thing. So, what happens next? Well, at this current time, the bill stages, it's up to the governor. We have to see what the governor is going to do. We got to see if it's going to pass or not. Because for all we know,
Alec Baldwin's finger for a proper 199 and says, what's next? It's video games. 100%. 100%. And listen, man, I will go back to this in its most simplest form. Banning of anything without a clear, definitive line. And I think that it's very easy to make a clear, definitive line that you should obviously ban anything to do with children in terms of, you know, that side of things. And I don't have to go into the details of it, but you know what I'm talking about. That should be banned outright, and you should be held accountable to the fullest extent if you are caught with that in any capacity. 100%. That's a clear, definitive line. Okay. But beyond that, these are not like, oh, so we're just going to ban something because you like it or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it all comes back to one thing and one thing only: parenting. Parenting. That's what matters most. And if you don't have good parenting, no amount of laws or bills will change bad parenting. Bad parenting is at the core of all of these issues. Just like with people wanted to say we need to ban TikTok. Why? Why will we ban TikTok? TikTok is not the problem. Bad parenting is the problem. So if TikTok is no longer there, then those people that are on TikTok will find another outlet, maybe even a worse outlet. Bad parenting is the problem. And that's just something that I will always stand by, that you can't legislate that.
Who the fuck is Alec Baldwin's finger?
This is such a great clip, ABF. This is such a great clip. But, I mean, again, we've been through this song and dance with video games as well. Oh, video games cause violence. Video games cause this. No, bad parenting causes this. You know what else causes this? Embracing your mental illness, celebrating your mental illness, encouraging people to put their fucking mental illness in their bio so that they can be defined by their mental illness. That is far worse than any of the nonsense that these idiots are spewing.
You know, maybe the governor just denies it, and that means that it does not happen. It won't pass. But there's a very high likely chance it's going to, which then that means the next stage is the Supreme Court, which is not good. So we'll see where that one goes. But yeah, I wanted to keep everybody up to date because I saw a lot of...
So there you go. That's that. So again, I knew nothing about this until Johnny the Wiz Kid brought it up yesterday in a super chat. So, but I am, again, I'm not for banning of things in general. And I wish we lived in a world where nothing was banned, including mean words. I don't think anything, I've said forever and a day, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a smoker. I don't do drugs, but I mean, look, man, I think you should, if alcohol and tobacco are illegal, then you should make drugs legal too. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna do them, but why? Who am I to tell people you can't get high and do damage to yourself? It's not my fucking business. You know, go for it. You know, has no effect on me. So, I mean, like the idea that marijuana is worse than alcohol is crazy. You know, the idea of that is absolutely insane to me. So, let's see. Talking about parenting, I need help. Is there anyone at Geeks and Gamers I can talk to about a GoFundMe for my lawyer for my foster daughter? I don't share random GoFundMes. It's just not something I do. So, because my kind of hard line rule on that is that I if I say yes to one, I have to say yes to all, and if I end up saying no to one and yes to another, then somebody's going to get mad. So the rule is I just don't share random GoFundMes. That's just a rule, because it's the best way to protect myself. Because everybody's got a GoFundMe they want shared, and half of them are scams, and you know, the other half are got a ton of salt and pepper on it to make it seem worse than it is. And only a few of them are actually legit. So, but wish you the best. I wish you the best. Let's see. Mez says, sorry, I'm a bit drunk and I felt like taking a shot, but I totally agree. The old slippery slope. I still like Mario Kart. Mez, I was just talking shit. I love people that watch this channel consistently. So whenever I do respond to them and then they're like, all right, you got me, or they'll respond with something else sarcastic. That's the best thing, man. I love the shit talking element that we have here. So thank you, Mez. I appreciate it, brother. Eric K says, don't forget when Puffy, because he smoked Biggie Smalls PP, and Jennifer Lopez shot up that club, one girl was shot in the face. I do remember that. McCock says Texas House tends to vote 100% on everything. General Duality says, I am pissed with the Texas government about this. It will affect a good chunk of entertainment. They are using to protect the children to overreach. Hopefully the Supreme Court strikes it down. Rawls says, I like anime and nerd stuff and video games. I voted for Trump, but Republicans calling stuff like anime and GTA evil always push me away from them. Agreed completely. The tired retro gamer says, first memes, then weed, now anime. Guess we get nothing more important to deal with in Texas. Dumb fucks. Yep. Classic staying lover. Donate to my super PAC and I'll think of charging my vote, said all. Subway J says they're trying to ban anime. I'm rioting. Trek says, Jeremy, do you think Cash isn't releasing the Epstein files because Trump is using leverage on billionaires so he can push his agenda? I personally just don't think Trump is worried that much about this particular issue. I think Trump has 10,000 things going on. And this is not part of his priority. It doesn't mean that you can't hold Trump responsible for this because he is the boss. But Dan Bongino and Kash Patel specifically This was their claim to fame. The Epstein situation was their claim to fame. This is what they were defined by. And they're doing nothing about it. Nothing about it. Big Texan Mazda says Jay is the biggest gooner at G&G. Beardo fat. Darth Mannix says, calm down, Jeremy. Maybe your B plug is too big. Chris Swain says the anime ban is largely due to the amount of Muslim sympathizers within the Texas government. They are pushing Sharia law and the development of a fully functional Muslim city within the state. That's a good theory. That's a very good theory. McCog says, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you run. Yes, exactly. Nightcall says, expect stupid distractions like this. This can't be constitutional. It's bipartisan. Since when was anything bipartisan? It's a distraction. Big Texan Mazda says, ban anime, but keep drag queen shows for kids. Exactly. That's a great point right there. You had drag queen shows in Texas and you motherfuckers didn't do shit about it. Yeah, you're worried about anime? Are you kidding me? The fuck out of here, man. Ranting Ryan says Jeremy Diddy was nickname given to Combs by Biggie as an insult. It was in reference to Diddy Kong. Biggie was equating Combs to that animal. I've never heard that theory, but could be true. Madney says if Texas governor signs the bill, it will ensure younger generations hate the GOP. Gen Z Alpha loves anime. Republicans are idiots. Very true. Very true. America 76 says, hey, Jeremy, about 25 minutes ahead. Appreciate the streams. I was one of the X responses to Bongino that you referenced. We didn't vote for reform, but accountability. Just cool to see it on stream. Big gulps. Well, see you later. That was you? Let's see. Right here. Is this you? That's awesome right there. Hell yeah. Right on, brother. There you go. So that's your tweet right there. Featured on CobraCast. Let's see. Eric John Pizza Artist says George Strait being canceled for Happy Memorial Day. What? No way people are going after George Strait. No way. Hang on. What? There's no way. I don't see anything about it. I don't see anything. But yeah, I saw where you clipped out. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything, but I did see where you clipped out my talking about If I Can Still Make Cheyenne song. Great song. Mifun says, could anyone do this? Spot the difference in these photos. There is no difference. Meme from the office of Cash Patel versus Christopher Wray, and also Pam Bondi versus Merrick Garland. Yeah, there is no difference. There is no difference at all. Zero difference in these clowns. And it is frustrating that we're at that point, but I don't know, man. I personally have no answers for what I think could happen moving forward with the Pam Bondi situation. It's really disappointing. Bongino, Cash Patel, Pam Bondi, they're all very, very disappointing up to this point in time. The only thing that I see on my timeline right now is the new Harry Potter casting. That's all I see. It's everywhere. Everybody is talking about the new Harry Potter casting. That's it. And I see a lot of these places are taking Hermione and taking the old actress and putting her next to this new actress just so they can get people upset at what appears to be a race swap. I don't know. I'm not a Harry Potter guy. I'm not a big Harry Potter person, but this is all I see on my timeline right now. So There would be better people to talk about it than me. I mean, I know Harry Potter, but I'm not like an expert or anything like that. I've taken the video game test, and I took the Pottermore test, and I was a Slytherin, which was perfect because they have a snake. So, but these Harry Potter fans get fucking mad, dude, if people talk about it or whatever, that don't follow it as much as they do. What is this right here? Ghetto Representative Jasmine Crockett is currently the front runner to be a top Democrat in the House of Oversight Committee. She is truly the new leader of the Democratic Party. We may never lose an election again.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So
Jeez. Holy crap. One more time.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
Oh my God. Brown Gaijin says, at the risk of being very unpopular, Reb Says made a video titled "Bill Outlawing Anime Sends Twitter into Hysteria," where he goes into more detail that is constantly overlooked. Reb's cool. Let me look it up. Is he countering, saying that it's not that big of a deal? Is that what it is? Let's see here. I'm trying to look and see. What's it titled? Bill Outlawing. Okay. Is it on his main channel? Because I'm subscribed to his main channel. By the way, Alec Baldwin's finger sent a proper 199. And I failed to play jiggle physics. There you go. Okay. I apologize about that. So there you go. That's my apology. I'm sorry. Forgive me. It won't happen again. I apologize.
Should I do it?
do not come.
Come on, baby. Come on. I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come. Beautiful white paint. It's coming down at 10,000 miles an hour. It's coming down at levels of speed that nobody ever even conceived of. Where it's rough, but it's coming, and now it's turned around. It turns around, and it's coming, and it's gonna. I said, oh, because you see at that bottom, this section right here, that sucker's. Oh. Should I do it?
Do not come.
Come.
Damn it. All right. Sorry. That clip never gets old, man. Like, I'll look up Rev Says video though. I'll check it out. I'm subscribed to Rev. So, anyway, look at that bottom. See right here, Variety is like, they're specifically posting things like this. Variety is specifically posting images like this to get a reaction out of people. See this? That's how they're doing it. And they know that people are going to respond when they post pictures like this. That is a very intentional post from them. Very intentional. But that's all over my timeline right now. That's all I see. Okay. By the way, this is super gay. WWE has reportedly considered asking fans not to swear during TV tapings. People have actually suggested this, or just like making an announcement of, hey, we're here. It's a TV show. It's going all over the world. We want you to have fun. Don't swear. In the past, if they had done that, the audience would have then started swearing because they wouldn't want to be controlled. But I think this audience is mature enough and smart enough, and everything like that, that you have told them, that I think they may be okay with it. Good Lord. Wrestling is so cucked right now, man. Again, bring Vince back. Vince would have never done that. Vince would have never done that. Good Lord. Eric John Pete's artist sent to your DMs. Okay. Let me see if I can look into that real quick. George Strait is the man. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here we go. Country icon George Strait, 73, faces backlash for controversial Memorial Day message. Oh my God, the pop-ups. The 78-year-old, so it says 73 up here though. So is he 73 or 78? Is he 73 or 78? This says 73. This is 78. Let's see. It took to Instagram Monday to celebrate the patriotic holiday, but a number of his followers weren't pleased with the wording in his post. The caption of the now deleted post read, "God bless our heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice. Happy Memorial Day," which featured a smiling photo of the singer along with the words "Happy Memorial Day." But several users' comment section pointed out that Memorial Day is not a happy occasion for many veterans and veteran families. Not happy, but thanks. One user. So this is the same thing that happened yesterday when I said, here, I'll show you. Let me go to my mentions if I can find it. This is the same thing that happened to me. Let's see. Right here. Here we go. Yvette's reaction says, D-Day Cobra, had to stop watching CobraCast 199 to let you know that Memorial Day isn't about thanking veterans. That's what Veterans Day is about. Don't thank me in a day that is meant for those who gave all. I never said this. I never said this. I said that in general, I like to go thank veterans. I never said that Memorial Day is about thanking veterans. I said that in general, I like thanking veterans when I'm out and about. That's it. So it's kind of the same thing. George Strait catching, autistic backlash on the internet. So, but it is what it is. But Yvette's React is good. He's a good dude. He's been following forever. He just misunderstood what I was saying, which is totally fine. But ultimately, George Strait is the king of country music. And that does seem like an AI article for sure, with showing his age as one. And what is his actual age, by the way? What is his actual, how old? George Strait's like early 70s, I think. I don't feel like he's 78. Maybe he is 78. So he's 73. 73. Okay. So the headline was correct. And then the article says 78-year-old. So it just messed it up. So, let's see where we at. I got that one. They cast a black guy for Ron. Gingers are black. Opinion on Drewski's white face skit. I don't know a lot about the Drewski guy, but he did like a white face skit, and my argument will be, like it always is, that if it's okay for him to do white face, then it's okay for people to do black face. That's as simple as it is. Piano Dean says the Bushwhackers, Luke and Butch, bought me a beer in a hotel lounge back in 1990. I was only 20 at the time, but who could turn that down? Not me. Even I would have had to take that offer, and I don't drink. It's the Bushwhackers. Classic Stang Lover says, oh no, the people who don't listen to George are going to cancel him. What's he going to do? Haha. Yes, exactly. George Strait's like, the least controversial person. And for people to get triggered over a post from George Strait is wild. But okay, so we're going to end it there. I got Tuesday night's main event tonight on the main Geeks and Gamers channel. If you guys are interested in that, I will have that link up a little bit later today. Going to have a full show, going to have a full panel. It's going to be a lot of fun. Chaz Dragoon says, sounds on par with the when Twitter freaks freak out if you say Merry Christmas. Yes, exactly. 100%. But I hope you guys are enjoying the early CobraCast times. I'm going to do this all week, and then we'll still do the evening shows as well, trying to catch up on a lot of the stuff I missed. But I do like this earlier time slot. I think it's good. I think it works. Anything after Tuesday's main event, I don't know yet, because I've got a long day on Wednesday, so I don't want to stay up too late. I have videos to make after main event and all that, so I don't know yet. Let's see. Gung Ho Max says, shout out to your favorite country artist, Beyonce. Good Lord. Classic Stang Lover says, George Strait, did I offend you? Check yes or no. George, I don't care. Great song. All right, so I'll see you guys for Tuesday night's main event. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in a few hours over on the main Geeks and Gamers channel. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye, everyone.